All the way past. All the way past.
Nice. Right.
Looking good. Looking good. All the way past the stand, would you give it, right?
Today, that at the 11th hour, the 11th month of the 11th day, the guns fell silent, ending World War I. In 1954, the observance that began in 1919 became Veterans Day, a time to honor all of our residents, our people of our nation who have served. Today, the city honors all our veterans, past and present, family and friends, for their service, their commitment, and their sacrifices. To begin, we'll have our opening Veterans Prayer by Father Michael Racine of the Greater New Bedford Catholic Association.
Let us pray. Loving God, as we honor today our veterans, worthy men and women who have given their very best as they were called to serve and protect our country, we are grateful for their dedication, their discipline and faithfulness and courage. We ask your prayers and intercessions of your healing power upon those who still carry any physical or mental wounds from the days of service. Today we give our gratitude for their service to us on this Veterans Day. Bless their families of all of our veterans for the sacrifices that have been made on the home front as their loved ones have been called to serve. And finally, we lift up to you those families who have lost a member of our armed forces, particularly in this past year. On this day, we remind our veterans how thankful and how proud we are of them. Bless them with peace and happiness. Amen.
Thank you, Father Mike. I now call up City Council President Linda Moran for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we will use the flag that is flying in front of the main library.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for our national anthem, New Bedford High School student Lily Marie Leclerc.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very good, Louie. That was excellent. I'd like to just mention our dignitaries that we had marching in our parade today. We have the Mayor, Jonathan F. Mitchell. Our entire City Council this year has marched with us. School Committee, our state delegation of Representative Hendricks and Cabral, and our State Senator Montague. A new addition to our Veterans Day program is now coming forward is a student from Roosevelt Middle School, Joey Lobo, who will be reading in Flanders Fields.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks that still bravely singing. Flies scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours, to hold it high, if you break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Thank you, Joey. Just want to remark that the Roosevelt Middle School, every Veterans Day, has a tremendous program for our veterans. And because of that, we invite them to participate in not only the Veterans Day service, but also the Memorial Day service. Woo. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Mayor, Jonathan Mitchell, for the Veterans Day remarks.
Well, good morning, everybody, or I guess afternoon at this point. Welcome. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for remaining for the speaking program. Let me begin with words of thanks. These parades, these glorious parades, don't come together automatically. They take a whole lot of hard work by a whole lot of people, and way too many people to recognize in the moments we have here. But I do want to give a special thanks to Bob Bromley and to Chris Gomes for all their work over the course of the year to put this together. Along with the entire Veterans Advisory Board, Bruce Duart, Peter Clark, Paul Gomes, a number of you are here today, but I just want to say thank you for your hard work, and all the city employees who are involved, the police department, DPI, and so many others who put the extra time in to make it look just so. Let me also recognize and salute this year's Grand Marshal, Devin Robitaille. I don't know, I should know this, Devin. You may be the first woman Grand Marshal, and if you're not, you are certainly the first one in an awfully long time. We know Devin as someone who has worked in a number of organizations in the city very ably and has a strong professional reputation. She works at Mass Hire and really makes things go for a lot of folks who are looking for jobs these days. But she's here because of her distinguished service in the United States Army. She was a sergeant and Air Defense Artillery Unit that was deployed to the Persian Gulf a few years back, about 10 years or so ago, and really put herself out there. And you'll hear from her in a moment. I just wanted to thank you for serving and for the example that you set, Devin. Thank you. I also wanted to give a special shout out to my friend Bill Como, who was last year's Grand Marshal and was this year's Veteran of the Year at the Veterans Transition House. If you haven't read Bill's book yet of his time as a rifleman in the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam in 1967, I commend it to you. He was a New Bedford kid who really stepped up and stood out and served with incredible bravery and distinction. So Bill, great to see you here today, and congratulations on your award this week. I want to say, since we were gathered here last, we've seen events in the world that remind us of the importance of military service. Just last month, we witnessed horrific events in Israel that underscore the risk that is always out there, that, as the song goes, the line between civilization and barbarism is just a shot away. And it also underscores for us the need to maintain a ready and modern military. And that requires a whole lot of commitment. It requires commitment of treasure for sure. Readiness is not cheap, but readiness is absolutely necessary if we are not only to defend our democratic values that we have long abided by as a republic, but also to ultimately to defend ourselves, to defend our way of life, but to defend our own freedoms. It also underscores that readiness isn't just about material. It isn't just about equipment. It isn't just about hardware. To paraphrase George Orwell, we get to sleep easy at night because rough men and women are ready to defend us against those who might do us harm. He said it in saltier terms than that, but the point is just the same. In order for us to defend what we have, to live civilized, free lives, we need people to step forward. And what we do here today, to recognize veterans, to underscore our reverence for their service, is essential to not only expressing a word of gratitude, which they so richly deserve, but also to communicate to future generations that military service matters. It is noble. It is absolutely necessary if we are to preserve our republic and to preserve ourselves. So for all of you out there who have made that commitment, thank you on this Veterans Day. I wish to end on a related programming note. We announced this week the designer of the Global War on Terrorism monument that will be constructed just off of West Rodney French Boulevard. And the Veterans Advisory Board, along with a number of others, designers, veterans, have all contributed mightily to this. This will be one of the first major monuments of its kind in the United States. And we're very proud of the work that this committee has done. But there is work ahead, and we want everybody to, if you feel moved, as I hope you do, to contribute in some way. We'll have something on the city's website, on the planning department's webpage very soon this week, in order for you to find out how you can support that effort. But it is all in the same vein. We want future generations to understand that military service matters, and those who came before have enabled them to live free lives in American society. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Mitchell. Our Grand Marshal today is Devin Robitaille. She served as a sergeant in the United States Army from 2011 to 2015. She was stationed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and Fort Bliss, Texas, and specialized in air defense artillery and Patriot missile defense systems. Deployed to Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar as part of the Charlie Battery 343rd Air Defense Battalion. She also holds a master's degree in business administration from the American Military University. On Governor Healy's Advisory Council for Veteran Services and on the city's Veterans Transition House Board. She's formerly employed at the South Coast Chamber and is currently employed with MassHire. Please welcome Devin Robotow.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. This is truly humbling, and it's an honor to be here. So I just want to say thank you. It's amazing. And thank you all for being here today to honor the veterans who have fought and continue to protect the American way of life and our freedom. So thank you guys for coming and showing your support. That means more than you know. So I want to start off by asking a simple question. What do you imagine when you hear the word veteran? What do you picture in your brain? Do you see an older gentleman proudly wearing his veteran hat? Do you picture a soldier with big muscles and a uniform getting ready for battle? Do you envision one of those video clips online of a troop returning from deployment and surprising their family? Do you picture someone like me? What is it that you picture when you picture a veteran? Every veteran has a different life story, before, during, and after their time in service. As a commander of the VFW Thomas E. Keller Post 7239, located in Acushnet, I have had the beautiful opportunity to hear their stories and build friendships with those who fought in every war dating back to World War II. While in service, I learned there is an enormous strength in diversity. And in this strength, bring service members together to complete missions. A bond of tolerance, respect, and trust is built. This bond lasts long past our time in the service and is shared between all veterans despite their branch. Tolerance, respect, and trust. 3 things the world needs more of. I learned early on in my Army career that these qualities would determine my success or failure as a soldier and as a leader. When I first arrived at basic training, like many of my comrades, I was welcomed by something called shock and awe. Myself and 50 others, who would soon be my battle buddies for the next 9 weeks, were directed to load our duffel bags onto a huge cattle trailer. We then were directed to load ourselves into a separate cattle trailer to be transported to our barracks. We were crammed in there, standing, anxious, surprisingly quiet. When we stopped, the drill sergeants immediately threw open the doors and started yelling at us to get out and locate our bags, which were thrown in a massive, unorganized pile in the center of the field. I'm talking 100 duffel bags. It was the middle of the night, freezing, and all the bags looked exactly the same. This seems like a simple task, but it was chaos. No one knew each other's names. People were throwing bags around. We didn't know what to do. The drill sergeants were screaming at us in our faces, telling us to find our bags and hurry up, and making us do push-ups if we weren't doing it fast enough. It was wild. I really can't explain it. After about an hour and a half of pure confusion, everyone had their bags secured. We were then quickly escorted to a room where we just sat for an hour. None of us spoke, probably because we were exhausted, scared, and trying to process what we had just signed up for. I remember looking around and thinking, who are these people? What just happened? How did we do that? It wasn't graceful by any means, but 50 strangers worked side by side to make sure everyone's bag was retrieved and secured without even knowing each other's names. Over the next 9 weeks, my platoon was involved in intense training situations, and our safety and passing grades depended on each other's actions. Personalities clashed, and differences arose. But early on, we began to see our differences were actually a strength. Everyone knew something that someone else didn't know, and this provided us with a toolbox of skill sets that made us a well-trained, efficient team. The more we capitalized on our differences, the more successful we became. And on February 17th, 2012, in Lawton, Oklahoma, 50 soldiers from diverse backgrounds, cultures, beliefs, and all walks of life came together and used their diversity as a strength to graduate basic combat training. Veterans fought and fight to protect our freedom while giving so much of theirs up. They spend countless time away from their families or move their families from base to base around the world. They miss holidays, birthdays, special occasions, and sadly, some pay the ultimate sacrifice. Their selfless courage secures the American dream, and our country remains free because of it. It is our duty as citizens to use our differences as a strength and work together to support our veteran community and honor their valor, courage, and sacrifice. As the veteran community ages, it is important to listen to their stories and pass them along. As a young veteran, I take this very seriously. If you would have told me in my 20s that in my 30s I would have a circle of close friends all over the age of 70, I would have called you crazy. I actually really would have. It's true though, they are a close circle of friends that I am so grateful to be part of. I learn so much from them every day. I encourage my other young veterans to get involved. We need your help. We need your help. My comrades and I share our life experiences with each other, and though very different, we always find something in common. They constantly remind me that as veterans, one of the things we fought for was the right to actually be different. Much like in basic training, it's our differences that will bring us together. Before I conclude, I want us to remember veterans are people just like you and me. They have needs. We need to help support them the way they have done for us. 22 veterans and our service members take their own life every day. Every day. That means from the start of the parade to the conclusion of this speech, 2 service members will have taken their own life. The homeless veteran population is growing rapidly, and there are limited resources to support the growing number. We as citizens need to pay attention and address these major issues and come together and again, use our differences and our independent skill sets to work towards a solution. Get involved in veteran organizations. Volunteer. I can tell you firsthand, no deed is too small. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to all my comrades and the veterans who have welcomed me into the community and taught me what true patriotism looks like. Their dedication to the American freedom and protecting our way of life is something we should all reflect on. And if you haven't yet today, please thank a veteran for their selfless service and sacrifice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Devin. And perhaps, as the mayor has indicated, you're probably the youngest Grand Marshal that we have had. At this time, we'll have a solemn moment to remember our veterans past and present, and particularly those who have not with us this year, that we've lost over the past year. We will now have the sounding of taps by New Bedford High School student Jade Torres. Thank you, Jay. In closing, I want to invite everyone here down to the Fort Taber Fort Robin Military Museum. The museum is reinstituted the Veterans Appreciation Day, and there is coffee and refreshments for everybody who participated today down at the museum. This concludes our 2023 Veterans Day program, and we hope to see everybody here next year. Thank you. Joey, thank you. Very good. Very good. Devin, thank you. Do you want to take a quick picture? I remember those cattle cars.
Fort Benning in July.